Kathy, this is very exciting to meet you. There are very few narrative films that make it into the Dog Film Festival. It's a really hard thing to do. There's wonderful animation, there's great documentaries, but writing a script and getting actors to be in a film, not to mention an acting dog, is really hard. Your film, Golden Retriever Bachelor, is the best narrative film I've seen in 10 years. So
Really?
truly, I'm very excited that your film is going to be in the 10th annual Dog Film Festival, October 26th premiere in New York City, and then October 26th of 25, and then traveling in 2026. I can't wait to ask you so many questions about it. First of all, are you a professional filmmaker?
Oh, no, I have never done a film, never
Goodness.
thought I would ever do a film, never had a reason to do a film.
Wow. I want to tell you that I saw this. I saw the first, it's 10 minutes long. I saw the first 30 seconds and I thought, this person has either made a lot of television or a lot of films, and it's so professional. It's so polished. It's so charming and funny. I can't believe you've never
Thank
made
you.
a film before. You are so gifted, and your inspiration for the film, and it's the tagline of the film, is to get more senior dogs adopted. So is that where your passion comes from?
Yes, and dog films in general. I don't know if you remember, but I met you 10 years ago because I happened to be in New York City for the what was the first New
Oh,
York
that's right.
Dog Film Festival. And I had that your idea just inspired me about dogs. There are so many aspects of dogs, so many ways to have films about dogs, that I have been intrigued with it ever since. But how this happened, I don't know if you've seen a film that was made, I would say 6 or 7 years ago. It was done by the Santa Fe Animal Rescue League, and it was a little 2-minute parody of The Bachelor.
I never saw it.
It, I lived a few years in Santa Fe. I recognized the hotel it was set in, and it was very cute.
Oh,
Two
wait, I
women.
remember Lorenzo, one of these kind of very European handsome guys. A real bachelor was in it, right? It came out of a limousine.
No, this was different. This was two women who were competing to adopt this dog from the shelter.
Oh, that's fun.
They were competing when they went on a picnic, and it was all shot, because I'm familiar with Santa Fe, it was all shot at Inn at the Laredo. And had talked to the lady that did that. And she'd never made a film, I don't think either. And she just shot it on her iPhone. But it's charming and it's good. So I had that in the back of my mind. And then I guess it was in 23 when the Golden Bachelor came out, the TV program. I'm not especially a Bachelor fan, but there was so much hype about
It
that
was.
film, about that TV series, that I sat down one evening and I turned it on. And at about 10 minutes into the film, the show, I just thought, oh my God, I have to make a film about adopting a senior dog. And so it was those two things together that were my inspiration. And as I said, I know nothing about making a film, but I was very lucky just to have the right people. It was like destiny. Everything fell into
Are they
place.
professional actresses? Because
Well,
they are so good in your movie. It's amazing. It's and the man who plays the announcer. I've never watched The Golden Bachelor, but we all heard about it, that it was a
yeah,
70-year-old handsome rich guy somewhere, I think in California. And he winds up, I believe, marrying one of the women, and then they immediately get divorced.
yeah,
One of
yeah.
them had a bad background, but I never watched the real show, but if it was half as good as yours, I think I would watch it. So where did you get these actresses from?
Well, the first thing I did is I called our local humane society. I knew someone who had just started working there, and I said, "Oh, I had this idea. I want to make a film." And she said, "A new job. I'm too busy to be involved, but there's one of our volunteers I think you should meet." And as it turns out, she is the sort of the evil one in the
She's
film.
great.
And she and I went
One who's
out for a
hedge
glass
fund,
of wine.
is she
Pardon?
the hedge fund manager?
Yes, yes.
My God, there's a line in it. You are really talented where I can say it because people coming to the festival won't remember this exact line,
Right.
but you have to come and see it, folks. Where she says they're each trying to tell why they are really going to be a great partner to this golden retriever. They're going to have this last great relationship. And she says, I'm a hedge fund manager, and dogs like hedges. It's off the wall. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. She also tries to get him later to invest in treats. Yeah. Anyway, so she and I go out for a glass of wine. Never met this person, although we'd both been in Tucson, Arizona for a long time. And we knew a lot of people. We found out we each other's connections. And within probably 15 minutes, she said, I'm all in.
Wow.
And she said, I'll recruit the other actresses. Uh,
Wow.
so she did. One of those actresses is a improv comedian.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. But anyway, so she recruited
The
him.
one who wants to hike or the one who wants to have cozy picnics and cook?
I think the cozy
She's
pic
charming.
picnics and cook. Anyway, then I thought, who can I be the host? That's my husband
No
that plays the
kidding.
host.
Great.
Yeah,
It's calling.
he's a natural, and it
She's
didn't take too
wonderful.
much to talk him into being the host. And then I had to find a location. And
Right.
I actually talked, I guess I had in my mind that other one from Santa Fe was shot in a hotel. I actually talked a local resort into allowing us to film. But then they had so many restrictions, which I understand. We can't interfere with your guest enjoyment
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, let's just shoot it at our house.
That's your
Uh,
house?
yes, that's our
Life
house.
at any resort for sure. Well,
Good videographer makes it look like it's a
grand.
resort, right? So then I had to get the videographer. And again, knowing nothing about it, I'm not even sure how I did that, but I interviewed a couple of videographers. And the one I chose works in videography at the University of Arizona Athletic Department. He does a
Wow.
lot of the sports video,
Right.
and he had a degree in that area. And again, he had a website, he does some weddings, and I wasn't too sure, but I liked him personally, so I just decided to go with him. As it turns out, his wife is an avid Bachelor fan. And
How
she's the
funny.
one, I think, that knew a lot of the embellishments that were
Yes.
needed on the night sky and the stars are swirling around. So that, and they came as a pair. She was his technical assistant. Um, so the only thing left was the dog. No, two things
Wait,
left.
the script. The
The dog, yeah. The dog, I went to an organization that I worked with for decades in Tucson, Ability Dogs of Arizona, which is an organization that's been around for more than 40 years and helps people with disabilities train their own service animals
Oh,
and
read it.
offers other kind of facility dog
Right.
training, that type of thing. And this film was in part something that was going to be a benefit to them. And they said, give us a minute, we'll come up with someone. And they were the ones then that identified Cooper, who is the dog in the film. That is a service dog,
Oh,
senior service dog. And his human was there, of course, during the entire filming, but behind the scenes, you never see Cooper's
person.
person. So then the last thing was the script. And we just happened to have some friends whose son lives in LA and is a comedy writer and screenwriter.
That's
And so
great.
I paid him a small amount to write a script for us. And I don't know, maybe this happens in all filmmaking, but as the day went on, when we were actually shooting it, it got the script, they didn't follow it exactly. Things
That's
happened
normal.
organically.
Yeah.
But that script, I think, was very important. It gave us a framework, it gave us some legitimacy. It looked like a
Yes.
screen, it looked like a real script. that all really, so everything fell into place.
But
Um,
you minimize how much effort you put into picking the elements that would make it classy. So you got to give yourself a lot of credit for the fact that you interviewed multiple videographers. You happen to know someone who had a screenwriting comedy son,
mhm,
but you paid him
mhm,
too. And then you
mhm.
had one actress who knew other actors, and you happen to have this really talented husband. And the combination of all of it, you know what it reminded me of in terms of quality? Do you remember the Subaru commercials with the Golden Retriever and the poodles? Did you ever see them? I wanted so badly to get them into the film festival, but there's no
Yeah.
there there. Oh, they're great. They're 1 minute television commercials, but it's a Golden Retriever, an actual dog, driving the family, and the
Oh, yes.
hilarious. And then a
Mhm.
beautiful poodle crosses the street, and the guy dog is like looking, and the wife's, what are you looking at? And they're wonderful. They're witty, they're funny, and they're very lit. And that's the other thing. Your film just looks so professional. And it's so funny. The fact that the woman who you say is the more wicked one, who has this great hair and
Yeah.
jewelry, but you must have been part of saying, oh, wear that really cool piece of art jewelry. No?
Her contribution to this, and she's named as co-producer,
Oh, okay, good.
is that, among other things, she and the other actresses got together a few days before the shooting. It was shot in a single day, and decided how they were going to dress. And they talked a little bit about their characters.
Nice.
I wasn't there. That was all her doing. And they had 4 wardrobe changes during that day. I don't think I actually saw 4. There were definitely 3
Yes.
for each of them. And she hired a hair and makeup artist who was there all day as well.
My goodness, no wonder. Don't we wish we had one ourselves? Thank
Right. Yeah,
God.
she did a great job. And there was a room in our house that was just devoted. It was like, I don't know, some backstage
For a
area with
wedding.
all the
Yeah.
makeup and
No
mirrors
kidding.
and where all their clothes were hanging. And it was really fun. And my job that day, because the videographer really was in charge of that day, he knew what had to be done. And if any of us suggested maybe adding something, he knew that this was going to take about 11 hours to make, just solid,
Did it.
starting in the morning until night. It was going to take that long as it was. And he really very politely resisted adding anything. And the other issue was because Cooper is a senior dog, he was exhausted. His
Hard.
dog, especially a senior dog, sleeps most of the day.
A
He
lot.
I don't know that he ever got a nap. He probably did because a lot of the scenes it takes him a while to get set up, and he's wasn't in every scene. But near the end, he was really tired.
Aw.
And so I was doubly glad that the videographer had not done anything to
Right.
extend our day beyond what it was. That's why at the end it's a little faster than we intended, but Cooper was just about to take the
And
big nap.
that is, he comes across as such a happy, willing character. And I love the fact that it's a cliffhanger at the end. I have to come to the Dog Film Festival to see how it ends and which bachelorette, although they're golden themselves, so I don't know if they're called bachelorettes, but which one wins, and you may not find out. But I think that the end is so brilliant and it's so perfect for the Dog Film Festival
Mhm.
that you say, to find out who wins his heart, tune in next week. Of course, there isn't really going to be a
Yeah.
next week, but these are the places you can find senior dogs for adoption. So, at
Mhm.
what point did you realize you wanted this to be philanthropic, a message film?
Oh, always,
Oh, you
always from the
did.
beginning. Always from the beginning. Yeah. And the videographer paid, the screenwriter was paid, the hair and makeup artist was paid, but nobody else was. And they were not paid much, believe me. They were paid way under what
I-
they would, I always knew this is what it's for. It's to help people,
yeah.
encourage people to adopt dogs, especially senior dogs. I've done that. I've adopted many senior dogs over my life, and it's always been great. And they've always lived several more years. So there's a lot of life left for these
Yeah.
dogs.
It's a great message. The Senior Dogs Association and the Gray Muzzle Association that gives out cumulatively millions of dollars of grants to senior dog rescue organizations and to facilitate adoption. The idea of adopting senior dogs, the famous one is Muttville in San Francisco. She was the very first woman, Sherry Franklin, to say, you know what? Let me get these dogs out of the shelter before they're forgotten and depressed and euthanized.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
they all live at Muttville. And God knows what kind of movie you could make if you got to Muttville, but you're in Arizona and that's in San Francisco. But your sense of humor is fantastic. Now, you were not a Bachelor watcher, but your
No.
co-producer was, because something I didn't know that happens on that show, which is very funny, is the women have a chance to diss each other,
Yes.
to say that person is not a good person and it won't
Hmm.
work out for
Yeah.
her.
All these asides,
And
that they're
it's
telling the
so
camera. Hmm.
funny. And the fact
Hmm.
that the hedge fund manager arrives with bacon, which is her secret. Now, on the Real Bachelors, do they have secrets like great lingerie or something?
I think they do. Honestly, I have to say, I've barely seen them. I might have watched that one total episode of The Golden Bachelor, but that is it. Um, I think they all did some research about and who knows, maybe I didn't ask, maybe they actually watched some of the episodes because they did come up with some sort of spontaneous dialogues and things about their character that were a little beyond the original screenplay.
But that is normal, just so you know. Unlike the theater, where the king of theater is the playwright. Nobody can change one word of a play, not one
Oh.
word, not the director, not the star. Whereas in filmmaking, there's a great deal of sometimes
Mm.
the screenwriter will be on the set for that reason to help to
Mhm.
change a scene in situ and as going. Otherwise, people can improvise and suggest things, and scenes get added and cut, and the cutting happens later. But it clearly yours is very well organized. The screenwriter had a plan, and the videographer made you stick to it. But it's just so charming. I guess we can't really say it should inspire other people to make a film for the dog or the cat film festival, because look at all the moving pieces. You spent some of your own money. Okay, it wasn't buckets, but it still was an investment. But look at what you got. Got
Mhm.
this
Oh,
gem
yeah.
of a film.
Money well spent. And
Yes.
for it to be part of your film festival and going all over the country, encouraging people. I
Yes.
mean, my money is been very well spent.
I feel that I'm very proud and grateful to have the privilege of being a platform to show such a fun and funny movie that while you're watching it, you think, look at all the ways these women are describing what they want to do with this senior dog, the kind of life they want to have, the love, the companionship, the hiking, the eating, the just hanging out on a blanket and having a picnic,
Hmm.
all of which are things that are what we hope for our dogs of any age. But
Hmm.
as seniors,
Hmm.
when the hike is, even though it may have Cooper out at the time, just because it's Arizona and hot, you clearly were not asking him to do more than he could comfortably physically do.
No, it turns out that there's a little tiny park in our neighborhood, just about a block from our house, that's all deserty. And that's where that was shot, actually, right in the middle
Very
of
pretty,
town.
very pretty.
Yeah, and it looks like they're out in the desert,
Yes,
but
yeah,
they're not.
very
They're in this
clever.
little tiny park.
There you go. So you had to have location scouting. You had to do all this stuff. You had to use your own house, give up part of it. I
We
think,
didn't have to, but it was so much easier because we could just do whatever we needed to whenever we needed to do it. And my job that day was basically just to serve food, smooth any ruffled
yeah,
feathers,
that's a
get
producer
people
right
what they
there.
needed to drink because it was pretty warm that day. Just keep everyone hydrated and it was just a total joy. And as I said earlier, I think it was destiny somehow. It all fell into place
Yeah,
pretty easily.
yeah.
There were many pieces, as you say, but I think it was just meant to be.
Intention on your part behind it that
Hmm.
everybody joined up, signed up for
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I think
Right.
great. Is there any chance that you or any of the other characters, maybe minus Cooper, are going to come to New York for the premiere, or it's a bit
It's possible that the evil one, the
oh, he might
co-producer,
come.
She's interested in coming, and we may as well. We spend our summers in British Columbia, and
I
we're
love.
just getting home. We're just getting back to
Right.
Tucson in maybe the second
Oh,
week of
I see.
October. So we're having to think about that. Or do we really want to take another trip right then as we're getting settled? But
Yeah.
she's interested, definitely.
She would be more than welcome. It would be great. And we have a pooch party the afternoon before with a green carpet and step and repeat. And we're having
Oh,
a pet psychic and pet portrait artist, sketch artists, and really great kind of raffle items and food and drink. And all of it, 100% of it goes to support Animal Lighthouse Rescue, which brings
that's
dogs
great.
from Puerto Rico to New York for adoption. So that's pretty special. I feel really grateful to have your movie in the festival. There's nothing like it. There's never been anything like it. We've had a couple of narrative films with actors, either professional or otherwise, and there's another one in the Cat Film Festival this year, but narrative films are really hard to make. To write a script and do all the things that you just described, it's a tall order. So I commend you for it, and I hope you'll make another one for next year. Just keep your creative juices flowing. I hope you get
I,
another cool idea.
I have a couple of ideas, but my fear is nothing would be quite as good as
Oh,
these
every
ones.
year we're grateful for anything that highlights the
Mm.
joy of the human animal bond and of the way that people and dogs interact. And to be able to poke fun at something while celebrating something else at the same time, it's just lovely. There's snark and true heart all at the
Mhm.
same time. It's a great
Mhm.
combination. And who knows, it could inspire people to go look at the Golden Bachelor or the Bachelor because I never had. And I am remembering it was Lorenzo de Medici and he came, it was the first year, the second year. If it wasn't the first year, you would have remembered. But he gets out of a limousine, and it was a particular rescue or shelter that had paid
Mm.
for it. And it's a pit bull, and he's in love with it. And the pit bull is on the steps of the mansion, and there's the rose. But it was nothing like yours. Yours is so wonderfully elaborate. So, Kathy Alexander, congratulations. Thank you so much for
Thank
finding the
thank
festival
you,
and for
Tracy.
coming the first year. And I hope you will find a way to
Uh,
pop over to New York October 26th. You would be so welcome.
It's quite possible. I'd love to see you then.
And me too, you, and what we call the evil actress, but she's really divine. She's funny.
She's not evil at all.
Not even a little bit. She's marvelous. And it's reminiscent of some of those Christopher Guest movies, just
Right.
so tongue in cheek. And everybody did a great job. So thank you for making it. And thank you for caring that much about people and their dogs. It's really terrific.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.